Just first thoughts. Heavy. 34 inches, 50 ounces. 50.
Okay.
Yeah, 1012 will play.
What's up, everyone? My name is Travis Fitta, and I am the hitting coordinator here at Driveline Baseball. Today we have a swing design with the catcher for the Los Angeles Angels, Logan O'Hoppe. Logan is a phenomenal athlete, incredibly detail-oriented, and came to Driveline more prepared than most athletes we've seen before. This was Logan's initial swing design with us, and one of the things we needed to focus on was getting him to rotate fully. He spent much of 2024 and 2025 under-rotated, which forced him to push his bat through the zone. If we can get him to rotate fully and get him to learn to load and unload and hone in on some coil and hinge, the sky's the limit for Logan. The first drill we're gonna get into is the offset open.
Let's go 2 here. Last one. Ooh. What do you feel?
Like it's one clean leg.
Okay.
One thing's going and the rest is pushing. What I noticed most was on the takes.
Yeah.
Like I can take better because I'm going. It's like, no, instead of, maybe I have to go and open, then I'm going, and then I'm already moving. I can't stop.
Why would a good take be representative of like a good process for you?
Similar to what we said yesterday, like this being the last piece of the puzzle,
Yeah.
I should be able to stop this whenever I want.
Yeah.
But when I go with this first, I can't stop.
100%, right?
It's like I know I'm working in the right sequence to be like, yep. No.
Yeah, I think your giveaway like pattern or identifying marker for like when it's off is when you start to create a bigger move, whether it's already in a no stride or just your thing, and it's this way to try to go, but I know that this angle is like the only thing I'm holding.
Yeah.
But I know that I want to commit so badly with the hands that I get to like, oh shit.
Yes.
So now when you start to go through it and it's better take, this is committed because this is the move you want, but none of this has moved off of you. Perfect spot to be.
Yeah.
Logan suffers from the inability to get into a really efficient load, so when we start honing in on some of those areas, we're going to primarily be focusing on hinge and coil. The offset open is an interesting drill because it orients the hitter's body to basically be angled towards center field, which would be his new opposite field direction. Along with that, I think what we're going to be able to do with him is be able to teach him how to turn his barrel deeper, how to remain connected, and how to work through the ball better to the opposite field.
Okay, now we're gonna flip it. Offset closed. This is where space that you already have, and we identified that, right? Like your hinge was good, but it was hidden. This is where we wanna make sure that we are still staying with this like top-down approach here. Don't be afraid, which is why I said like that bottom of the zone for you, right?
Gotcha.
You can get there, but it's not happening because you went bottom to top first. You worked from here, and all of a sudden that side bend posture takes over. We get down, and then we're back up and through it. Ooh. Feels on the closed. It's like, I think it might be harder than the open for you.
Way harder.
Why?
Way harder.
Why?
That ability to feel the need, like I have to work out the bat
Yeah.
to pull the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I am going neutral, like feeling like I have to pull out of closing myself off to be able to get that ball.
Interesting.
So after we did these drills, I think Logan identified that he really liked offset open, but was having a hard time really liking offset closed. The reason this drill is particularly challenging for Logan is a guy who has really good hip flexion, creates some really good hinge, but it's always hidden over some really bad posture. And by the bad posture, I mean he would have a ton of excessive forward bend, he would have excessive side bend, and the bad posture or the over posture was really just creating no room for his space to be used, right? So when you go into offset close, it's a drill that kind of cheats you into space, closes you off from the pitcher. Ideally, a hitter is going to want to create hinge and create more space and hold on to that space to rotate through. But Logan puts himself into some really deep positions in his load at times, and it gets really hard to get in and out of that space.
Because what's interesting is when you get back to that position where you land and you got that forward, right? In there exists the hinge that I told you had, but it's compromised by the forward bend. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, hinge is spaced. Now I forward bend it a little bit more and I'm kind of geared forward. Well, this is really hard to then feel like I can turn out of without either bleeding it out and opening or trying to rip it back out.
Yeah.
So this idea now for closed is like closed. The priority I want to have is the hinge. And no matter what, as long as I hold on to the hinge through the entirety of the swing until I get to the end, right, I can turn it. Now what happens is my pelvis is out of the way. I can get back tight with my path and finish over it. Instead of being hinged and then trying to like lose it to get everything going in that direction. I think that's where you have the hardest part, which is why all of this pops out and away from you to try to get back there. Let's go 5, 6 more swings in just the close. And I want you to think about what it would be like for you to hold on to space the entire time. Not in a forced, like trying to push it back, but just boom, there's my space preset in this like offset close. And all I'm gonna do is load it and then unload it.
Okay.
So what? So what? You're in a good spot now. All you gotta do is worry about getting this thing back in the air. Good, good. Oh. Yeah, yeah. Good for you. Last one here, big dog.
Should be a little higher than that, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say if that is the in-between miss right now, that's sick.
Okay.
Oh, give me one more. Yes, yes.
Once we finished up with the offset close drill, we went straight into a no stride drill and utilized the bazooka bat.
Just first thoughts. Heavy. 34 inches, 50 ounces.
50.
50.
Okay.
So bazooka bat is primarily targeting like some upper half patterning stuff. Okay. So it's really for you, it's gonna isolate the upper half from the lower half in the standpoint that the upper half is gonna have to become way more about stability and control. Okay. Because if you start to over posture, what usually happens to your barrel is you start to tip it out and it gets a little bit higher with the early connection. Okay. But what happens as you start to tip out a 50-ounce bat is you go, I fucking hate that. So I'm either gonna have to try to lay it back down or I'm gonna throw it out this way and you're gonna get the feel off of it, right? Okay. So the idea now is in the first couple reps of this, it's gonna feel weird because I'm taking away any sort of dynamic movement you have. It's all a static position turn. Yeah. Yeah, good with the miss. That conviction right there. Does this bat just feel lighter?
Doesn't feel as heavy as it should.
Attaboy.
I don't know if light's the right term.
I don't think light's ever gonna be a term with a 50-ounce bat, but it better feel normal. Good for you. Good for you. Let's go 2 more here. Get that swing off here. That A swing feel where it's like you're not trying to over manufacture it. Your moves are just so good, fast, and tight that speed is a byproduct of this intention. Yep. Yeah, 1-0-1-2 will play. Good?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so what we're gonna start with first is hookems, and we're gonna go fastball with the hookems. Yep. We're gonna go on the short bat here. Okay. So the reason that we wanna do the hookem now is because we're starting to get primarily into like loading stuff. Yeah. So when you asked me the other day about messing with your stance, and I told you like, let's get into some of the drills and see if there are things that like, hey, I love this feel, and when I do this drill, it's really good, right? What Bryce said was don't do drills just to get good at drills, but let the drills start to focus you on how you blend it to the game swing. So I wanna start with primarily just like some loading patterns for you, which is gonna be Hookem and it's gonna be Kershaw. Yes, they require a stride element, but they're very much about if I can be in a good position to start with each drill, I'll be in a better position to stride through it and maintain it, right? All right, you ready to go to Kershaw? Part of it. Okay? Better. What was the difference between those last 2 swings?
I stayed more grounded in that heel like we were talking about, and not toe.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna go to Kershaw and we're gonna use the barrel load and the handle load only. Just like Kershaw pitches, right? It's up, down, stride, make the move. But for you, it's gonna be up, and we're gonna kick out, right? So the kick out now does two things. One, it keeps my chest taller, so my posture can stay higher. And it forces me to get into a little bit more of a hinge that is dominated by the fact that I can hinge and not because I can just forward bend everything, right? Because if I do this one, my fear is that you end up like over bending it and you're in a weird position. So let's go kicked out, nice and relaxed. You're gonna be like this. First move for you is down, hover, stride. So there's a lot of elements here, but I want you to focus primarily on just the load portion of it. Put yourself in a good position. Always come down to a hover, controlled, where you're not falling and cheating the move out, and then striding forward, let yourself turn.
I think one of the things that we realize with Logan is he gets away with just moving things fast in a really inefficient manner at times. This is a guy who's coming off of being extremely pushy, didn't really have an understanding for what rotation was and how he was able to utilize it in his swing.
I got you, one more. One more. It's okay, let's do this, switch it up. Change the stimulus.
About halfway through this, we kind of switched it to a handle load. And the handle load for Logan, I think, just kind of synced everything together. It gave him a tremendous feel right away. He was able to take an implement that has its weight closer to your body, makes the brain force itself to stay connected, create a more efficient tight turn.
Weight's gonna come down to the hands. Now you're in control of the weight way more, hopefully. This is where we wanna see it pay off now. Yeah. Ooh. I got you. I got you. I can live with that. I can live with that. There's some really good stuff inside of that drill for you. Where it starts to get away from you, I think, a little bit towards the end is when you start to try to outrace it. And what we talked about was like, if you can't decelerate and stop the torso and the pelvis at the end of the rotation, it constantly is turning itself and never allowing the hands to actually catch up and release for you. So as you start to overturn it and never slow down, everything else is gonna have a harder time actually reaching the point where it can get past it and accelerate. Does that make sense? Okay, so step back is like the thing I wanna watch you play off of, like what you did yesterday, because there were some really good feels into that. But the thing that's gonna get challenging now is this is a very different shape than we did yesterday. So this thing is gonna start on you and start to work itself back to the black. So this is where this is gonna get really hard. One, it's already an inside pitch, and we are trying to battle this ever-changing like posture, like space issue. But then I'm gonna give you a long bat, which is actually like more of a sin for this than it is like a fix. Part of this is like, let's feed into the mistake a little bit, because I think you're gonna learn more out of the constant like, that wasn't right, that wasn't right, that wasn't right. And then all of a sudden, when that long bat starts to move the way you want it to, I'm gonna remove the length and the weight, and I'm gonna give you a 34-inch, very underloaded bat and watch you now test speed through that space. Does that make sense? Oh. Right idea. Now, just like yesterday, right, with this long bat or the fungo effect of something longer, out in front point of contact is something you very much want to embrace here. So it's not a question of can you push yourself into the extension, it's let it turn, commit to an early miss, let it get out there. It's 37 inches, let it work in your favor. Oh yeah. Come on, baby.
So the next drill we did with Logan was step backs. We paired that with a long bat, and to really stress the environment, I moved the pitch inside, right? I wanted to challenge him with an inside fastball. This was gonna challenge a few different things. One, do you have good space maintenance? Can you create good posture? Can you get your rotation off? But now I'm gonna give you one of the harder bats to do that with, which is a long bat, 37 inches, 37 ounces. So it's long and it's heavy.
Yes.
It's one of those things where if he starts to push the barrel through the zone, he's just not gonna have enough space and time to release that barrel. So this drill really forces him to get out in front, rotate it into a certain spot, and let that barrel move through with explosion. I wanted to essentially kick his ass. I wanted him to get exposed to a little bit of failure here and then start to make the correct adaptations as he went forward.
Yep.
I like those two misses.
Yep.
I like way better.
Okay, let's go underload and add some speed here.
So I handed him an underload bat, Told him to swing this thing as fast as he could, let his brain kind of get out of the way, and allow the athleticism to take over.
Don't let your brain get convinced this thing is light. It is just a bat. Angels live in the sky, big dog. You gotta reach them. Yeah, go get them. Go get them. Yes, yes, you just missed. We have spent a large majority of our time here and in the early training block of going over the things that matter. Posture, space, how you're gonna rotate it. Path is falling into this as we make these really good cues off the adjustments, but we're gonna very much go movement focus first, let the path start playing with its solutions, but here's what we're gonna do to tie this. I'm gonna give you probably the most dynamic move that you can do, which is the pivot pick, right? Beyond a couple other things, but the dynamicness of a pivot pick for you is gonna be important because it's gonna force you to do a load, it's gonna force you to hold it, and it's gonna force you to unload it. I want you to feel just as dangerous as when you did with that underload. Yeah. Don't be afraid to overcook it here.
And Logan, who is so strong and so powerful, but at times didn't feel very fast, this was a really good drill for him to unlock, especially compounding on all the other drills that he did. He was able to move really, really efficiently. And, you know, we've gotten to the point now where, like, Logan is moving the best he ever has. And this swing design was such a fun one to do, to have him unlock a lot of things that he knew he was always capable of. I expect to see some really cool things out of Logan this season, but, you know, this swing design was really geared towards allowing him to embrace the athlete, move really fast. And I think what he learned is his path is a lot better when he's actually moving faster.
Yeah. Good for you. Good f***ing swing. Good swing. What do you take away from this? Because it's a lot, right? Like it's weird moves, it's different bats, it's things you've had a little bit of history with, some things that are new. But I think at the end of the day, it's like, what sticks out to you today from like the meeting, compounding into the swing design of like what you really pull from it?
How easy it became to get the ball in the air.
Yeah.
Like what you said, it's those origin things, like doing those color drills. Like those guys too, I was just trying to pull it up and try to hit.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and they were just at a third.
Yeah. What I'm very happy with today is that all of a sudden we've worked from this like feeling the need to have to push everything to center field. We've gotten to the point where we're not afraid to get out in front and still be able to hit hard lasers to center field if we miss, right? That's gonna equal out more to the opposite field as we start to go about this, because the difference from between pulling the ball and going that way is I'm gonna take it away from being a spin result to more of a like rotation through posture linear movement. So that way, if you really had to, your path is still in a position to abuse the opposite way instead of like having that miss where you're like, like I just had it. Brother, great job. Great job.
That was sick.